The United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, and the greatest melting pot of cultures and lives in all the world. Many people from different backgrounds, religions, and lifestyles. We have many things to celebrate in this country, so many that one can hardly keep up. Some people you can tell what they represent, and some you can't. You never know who you're talking to. One of those groups of people celebrates every June their uniqueness. What started at Stonewall in 1969 is now recognized as LGBTQ Pride Month by several presidents throughout our history. We celebrate our uniqueness and contributions to this country. We are your brothers, your sisters, your mothers, your fathers, your aunts and your uncles. We are gay, lesbian, bi, trans, and non-binary. Join me now as we celebrate Pride Month here live at Six Flags Over Texas. Alright, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties in live because of sound, we are not going to be live tonight, but we still want to bring you Pride from Six Flags Over Texas with TCI, Trans Cendence International. Right. So, I am Balana, this is Finn, this is Vicky. We're frustrated, but we're here and we're going to do this anyway. So I'm going to record all of this and splice it together because we still want to give you something. Finn, give us a quickie about TCI.
Okay. Hey, everyone. So, yeah, I'm Finn. I am one of the co-founders for Trans Cendence International. We're an organization that sets up and facilitates support group meetings. We've been around for 10 years now. Setting up meetings, and since COVID, we've been running everything virtual. If you want to support one of our meetings or attend one of our meetings, go to TCI or transcendence.org, and you can sign up for any of our meetings there. We also do education.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So from here, we're going to roll into a video of Amy Dash, and then we're going to come back with a couple interviews of our community members. We're going to get all of this for you. We're going to post it on YouTube because we still want you to celebrate Pride with us and Six Flags Over Texas. I love technology when it works.
This summer, the thrill is calling. Answer it at Six Flags. Feel the force of a coaster. Let yourself run wild. This is your time. Snag tickets as low as $29.99 at sixflags.com.
My name is Amy Dash. I'm a trans woman, and I've been living as my true self for 3 years now. Pride means that I can be myself. I can be out in the world as me, and that people will accept me for me and not judge me in the way that people like me are often judged and have been in the past. This is probably lame, but Marsha P. Johnson, who was instrumental in that original Stonewall, riot there, that really put us on the map. And it's sad that had to happen, but I'm glad that she was able to be a part of it, and I'm glad that people took notice of us and were able to see us. And, that's what Pride is about, being seen and being recognized, honestly and openly. I realized it to myself and wasn't sure what to do, and I looked online and I got to read all the other people's stories, and I went, they're telling my story. And I felt a connection to the community and realized this is the way I needed to go. And I wrote everything up. And instead of telling my friends verbally, I had them read what I had written. And they all supported me, and they were all super happy for me. And, I'm really glad I did. It changed my life for the better. Well, there is rejection. People aren't always cool with it. And then there's the medical stuff to overcome. Having to deal with the medical system can be awkward, and it's not always up to date. But I feel I've been really successful in it. And, any friends I've lost, I've made new friends, and much better friends that, love me. And I'm really happy about that. I definitely look forward to being more social again now that COVID is coming out. I'm fully vaccinated and can actually go to clubs, gay clubs especially, and see other LGBT people and talk with them and hang with them in person, finally, after all this COVID stuff. And I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy we get to do Pride this year, right? We didn't really get, it was completely canceled last year. And this year we get to do it. And sure, it's a little subdued, but it is happening and everybody's recognizing us. And, people are complaining about the corporations, but I'm glad, oh God, and this isn't a kiss out, glad that they're helping us and putting out the word, because that matters. Representation matters.
Hello again, everybody. So I'm here with my good friend, Sylvie Pixel. And, oh my gosh, we have known each other for so long, 9 years. Something like that. I think we both started transitioning around the same time, and we started supporting each other. And we, built a community that all supports each other now, right?
Yeah.
And we did that. We're so proud of ourselves for doing that. But anyway, so what does Pride mean for you, Sylvie?
So for me, Pride means being out, being loud, being truly our authentic self. It is looking out into the world and saying, this is who I am. I respect that. And it's just about being you, whether it's sexuality, whether it's our gender or gender presentation. It is our time to say, this is me.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it is our time to just say, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I don't care what laws you try and pass. I don't care what you try and shut me out of. I will find a way. So yeah, we're very proud to be here. What else is going on? What's going on in your life? You work at Starbucks, right?
I do, yeah. I am one of Starbucks' very few, but enough of us, transgender managers. I recently got promoted, and I now work for probably one of the most trans-inclusive companies there is. I am working somewhere where we are not just celebrating Pride and selling Pride cups, but we are flying colors. There are flags up in my cafe. We are engaging on them, teaching people about what Pride is on a daily basis, and it is just perfect.
Yeah, and Starbucks is one of those companies that supports us 365 days a year.
Oh yeah.
I'm always sending people to Starbucks if they're looking for employment or just a good company with good, great people to work for. So let's see what else is going on in our lives. It's hot.
It's very hot. It is horrifying.
So you're from England, right?
I am from England.
What part of England are you from?
I'm originally from the east of London.
East of London.
Completely and utterly got rid of the accent, softened the voice. It comes out on rare occasions, but hopefully not too often these days.
Right. So how is Pride celebrated over in that part of the world?
It's not far off the same from the US. We still have Pride celebrations in a lot of the major cities. A lot of the companies are getting on board, but certainly while I was still living there and growing up, it wasn't a big thing. Yeah. A lot of these, even the larger towns in the south where I came from, you didn't see any Pride flags. You didn't really see a lot of openly gay people. So it's come a long way from where it was. It's not quite perfect, but nowhere is yet.
We're getting there. We're getting there. I have some really good friends and colleagues over in England now. Jessica Lynn is one of my best friends, and she's doing some great work over there. And my friend Sam Martin. So yeah. What else do we got?
Hi, my name is Victoria Guarneri. I am with TCI, and I have Lisa and Mark Daly here from PFLAG, and here to celebrate Pride. So, what are you thankful for Pride this year?
We are thankful for the ability through Fort Worth PFLAG, which we've been members of for about 18 years now, to meet with families of LGBTQ members and to help them on their journey, especially when a member of their family comes out. So we in effect, we celebrate every month through our meetings. We march in parades.
Yeah,
we have marched in parades over the years.
Missed the parades the last 2 years.
And we fly our pride flag, rainbow flag, every day at our house.
Awesome. So, when your son came out, did your military training in any way help you or prepare you for that?
Well, I'll just talk for a second, and then we'll let Lisa handle it. I'm a retired Air Force pilot and a retired airline pilot, which is nice because, in fact, this is what Lisa and I do full time now, is work with PFLAG. But we have 2 children, Our daughter is 39, 2 wonderful grandsons, and then our son is 36, and he came out to us
18 years ago, right after graduating from high school. And we didn't have any, he came out as gay. We didn't have any big whoop-de-doo negatives about it, but we needed information. So within about a month or two, we went to a PFLAG Fort Worth meeting, and about 3 months later, they made us co-presidents for the next 14 years. So, we've been doing this ever since. Parades, anything we can do. I talk to moms constantly who call and say, I don't know how to handle this or whatever it is.
Yeah, and our greatest joy, really, though, the reason we keep going back is when parents, families come to the meeting for the first time, a child has come out to them, LGBTQ, they don't know, they're looking for answers, support, help, and so we keep doing it because it's very rewarding when a mom or dad is crying tears like, we'll never be able to handle this, what am I going to do? And we get them through it, and
they join PFLAG.
And they
become our new board members.
They learn to realize that child is still their child. Right. It just may not be. They're on a different journey. Let's put it that way.
The path has changed.
So you want to talk to my mom?
Sure.
We're not 100% successful. I mean, there's some. Unfortunately, it's sad as it is. There's families that don't. Yeah. Parents that don't get it, but
So what other organizations are you part of that you're proud of?
Lisa's going to tell you about that.
I'm an Episcopalian and St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Hearst, and about 5 years ago, we had an event that was LGBTQ, and they asked me to get, because I know people, speakers for it. And after that, there were a couple of trans people there, and two of the people from my church came up and said, we think that there might be a need, since we have a church that they can meet in, to have a mid-cities transport group. TCI was going, but it wasn't particularly busy in Bedford, Texas. So I said, sure, I'll do that on Sunday afternoons once a month. And now that we're doing Zoom, we have like 20, 21 people every time. It's just because it's really kicked off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the adult kids of some of the parents, the adult trans kids who live in Chicago and, Boston and Austin.
New York.
They can now join with us. And boy, that helps a lot. It's just this last Sunday, 2.5 hours nonstop, and we made a difference. These grandparents stopped saying he about their trans grandson after 2.5 hours.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's just very rewarding.
That's great. So what, in terms of your advocacy, are you most proud of? Is there anything in particular, an event, or?
I would say just helping parents.
Yeah, it's every day. It's not one event. It's every day with us.
And Lisa must
I get the email and the phone calls for PFLAG, and there's
twice a week. You must
at least
twice a week.
Yeah. Just talking to somebody.
And children are coming out younger and younger. Mm-hmm. And with all the negative stuff going on at the Texas legislature, especially with the trans bills, and so you've got parents that are worried, scared.
They're supportive, but they're scared.
They're scared of what's going to happen to their child. So if we can allay some of that fear and help them, because at the beginning it's tough. 3 years later they can look back and go, wow, it's been great, but at the beginning it's tough.
Yeah. Awesome.
So we're proud of that.
It sounds like you're doing awesome work. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you for inviting us to this. This is great.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much. So if someone wishes to attend your meetings, how do they attend?
PFLAG, Fort Worth PFLAG website on either Facebook or Google it. Yeah.
And then the Anglican Church, they have Episcopalian Church, they have
St. Stephen's Episcopal Church in Hearst also has a website that talks about the trans
meeting. But if you go to our Fort Worth PFLAG website, they would have a link to the trans support group there also.
Basically, it's an email coming to me.
It's all Zoom meetings now, right?
Which is good. Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
My name's Elliot, and my pronouns are he, him, his. I guess it just means being your full self wherever you are. Marsha P. Johnson. I have a beautiful poster of her in my room that I need to find a frame for. But yeah, Marsha and just like the people who have paved the way for me to be able to live my life the way I'm able to live my life. I had started, I went to the gay bar in Denton once a week, Mabel Peabody's, for the show, and I just started trying out different pronouns. And of course, everyone there was lovely and like just, you know, would switch my pronouns from night to night based on what I like felt like. And pretty soon it became like, oh yeah, I'm feeling male pronouns every night. And so that really helped me like explore without it just being a thing like, oh, are you trans now? Is that a thing? And everybody like freaking out. That was really nice. And then eventually I just showed up at Denton Pride with my pronoun pins, and I put a picture on Facebook saying like, and changed my name on Facebook and was like, hey, anybody who isn't in my immediate life that I haven't already told yet, this is my new name and pronouns. And I literally tagged all of my family members who are on Facebook. Just so I was like, there's not like, I'm just not going to have a sit down conversation with all of you. And I want you to have your knee-jerk reaction like away from me. And then come to me when you have thought about it for a minute and are like in a place where you're like remembering that I'm your family and being respectful. And that worked out pretty well. And my mom fielded all of the like calls. I mean, it's not like my family freaked out that much, but she fielded the calls from like her siblings being like, so what's going on exactly? Because she asked me like, do you want me to like just tell them to talk to you? And I was like, no, you can talk to them. That's fine. That's great. Oh, mainly just myself. I'm a very anxious person. And so I'm also like the sort of analytical person where I'm thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead of everything of what's going to happen if I do this or that. And so, you know, I had to get used to going into situations that I was nervous about and just accepting that they were going to be what they were. Especially pre-hormones when I couldn't. It was either have a conversation or be misgendered. And so I was more willing to have a conversation, but it didn't mean I wasn't nervous. So I've been very, very lucky and blessed to have mostly positive and certainly now at least very, very supportive responses from everybody in my life. So so probably my biggest obstacle has just been myself and putting myself out there. I guess I would start with, if you're in the questioning phase, that you don't have to, your narrative, your story does not have to fit the narrative of the like maybe 2 narratives that we have of trans people in the media. You don't, because I was never all that upset about being a girl. Like, I was fine with it and I liked girly things. I didn't really experience any dysphoria until I had experienced what being in the right gender felt like. And I was like, oh, it was supposed to feel this way this whole time? And so for a long time, I had really bad imposter syndrome of like, you know, asking myself stupid questions like, am I doing this because I want to be special? Am I like appropriating trans culture if I start calling myself trans? And it's just like, no. Like, it's sort of, it's very easy to be nervous about offending other trans people, but if you're coming from a genuine place and being yourself, anybody who's worth having around in your life is gonna not think that you're looking for attention or appropriating culture or anything. Like it's your whatever gender feelings you have. They're not anybody else's gender feelings. They're yours.
Can you hear it? The thrill is calling, and it's wilder and wetter than ever. Splash down and cool off at North Texas' largest water park, Hurricane Harbor. Snag tickets as low as $24.99 at sixflags.com.
Hi, my name is Victoria, and I'm here with TCI, and we're interviewing the wonderful Miss Rebecca Heineman.
Hi, everybody.
So, Rebecca, you've been a kind of a trans warrior on and off for, I don't know, how long has it been?
Since we programmed using stones for zeros and sticks as ones. I've been doing video game stuff since the late 1970s, but I've been a trans warrior since the early 2000s.
Awesome, that is so cool. So, we know you from High Score, and I think it would be interesting if you talked about the famous story. I think the two quick stories would be how you got your nickname, because that's, I think, interesting, because some people may not know that you go by Burger Becky, and your other story being that you won the 1980 Space Invaders, Atari Space Invaders World Championship. Do you want to chat about that?
Sure, let's start. In the late 1970s, actually, yeah, it was the late 1970s. I was doing programming and reverse engineering for arcade machines because I worked at an arcade. After they won the National Space Invaders tournament, video game companies found out that I had reverse engineered the Atari 2600, and I got myself a job at a company doing 2600 games. Well, these companies at first, when they were hiring me, because they had no self-esteem at the time, I didn't know what it was worth, so they were paying me below minimum wage. I mean, this was slave wages. As a result, to make ends meet, I ended up going to like hamburger stores, like fast food places, and would buy 29-cent hamburgers, and would buy 20 of them, and leave them on my desk because I didn't have a refrigerator. And it would take me about 3 or 4 days to eat the entire bag, and then I would just repeat this process over and over again. So one day when I was at a company called Boone Corporation, I pull out the drawer, pull out a burger, when my coworker who was sitting across from me realized that I hadn't left my desk for something like about 8 to 10 hours, and it just clicked, like a switch went off in his brain, that burger has been in that drawer for days. So with that, he just jumps up, chairs goes flying, he goes running out the door, screaming, "That burger's insane!" And I'm just sitting there like, what the heck just happened? So let's find out later, the guy tossed his cookies, and everybody was making jokes about saying, "So, eat any good burgers lately? What's in the drawers?" "Oh, it's burger. What do you want?" So I kind of embraced it. So every now and then I would just be sitting at my desk going, "Burger, burger." So I was just like, Burger Becky ever since then. I was like almost 40 years now since I got that nickname.
That is so awesome. Thank you. So in terms of your programming, though, you've always been gender positive?
Yes.
Even before you transitioned? Would you like to talk about your early attempts and your early investitures of gender in video games before it was even a thing back in the 80s?
Yep. Well, there was a game, most notably, was that there was a game I worked on called The Bard's Tale. It was brought to Interplay by a gentleman by the name of Mike Cranford. And he brought it to Interplay, and I then was doing some of the ports, like most notable one is the Apple IIgs version. And as I was working on it and I made all the graphics tools, I was playing the game and I said, wait a minute, why can't I play as a female character? And he told me straight to my face, girls don't play these games. And I'm like, then what am I? And I'm playing these games. So after, due to other circumstances, Mike was no longer affiliated with the project. I took it over, and I created Bard's Tale 3, The Thief of Fate. And that one, the very first thing I put in there was female characters. So I was able to play the game as an avatar as myself.
That's awesome. And how many awards did you win for the video game?
I've lost count. There was quite a few. The biggest and one that matters the most is that of the 3 Bard's Tale games, it's the one that sold the most copies. So think about that. Especially those who say games that have girls in them don't sell. Hey, I was the biggest selling version of that franchise. So if you want to cash some green, put some women in those games.
And this was years before Sarah, what is her name? Laura Croft. This was like 15 years before Laura Croft.
Yeah, but there was also a big difference between this and Laura Croft. In Bard's Tale 3, women were treated no different than men. They were essentially just female warriors, and that's pretty much the only differentiation. Laura Croft was a character designed specifically so young boys can see these very large kahugas and big boobs and big butts and watch them jiggle in front. I mean, the guys at Eidos made no bones about the fact that they were appealing to a male audience. Because, let's face it, if a girl had breasts that big, she'd be getting surgery. Otherwise, I'd like to know what crane she's using to hold her when she's walking down the street.
So, in your work life, you've helped and worked with all kinds of different ERGs, GLAD. Would you like to talk about some of that work?
ERG. What is an ERG? Your
Employee Resource Group. Excuse me.
Yeah, I get on people's cases when they use acronyms because not everybody knows them.
And that's one of my biggest weaknesses. Yes, employee resource groups.
Now, when I worked at Microsoft, I got myself involved with Gleam, which is gay lesbian employees at Microsoft, and I became a spokesperson there, did a lot of talks. Then when I was over at Amazon for a short while, I was with the Glamazons. In fact, I helped set up their LinkedIn page because at the time they didn't even have one. So if you go to LinkedIn, you find the Glamazon page, you're welcome.
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Yep. And it's culminated now that I become a board member of GLAD, where I bring to the table the perspective of the entertainment software industry. And so when we have our board meetings, I always bring up making certain that video games and related materials there's a focus on that as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Well, thank you. That's huge. I had no idea that they were even doing that. That's huge. Mm-hmm. So I think in your career, like, what are you most proud of in terms of like what you've done? Like, what's the one thing you think that you're like, wow, I did that. I feel really proud.
They have to be a Bard's Tale 3, The Thief of Fate, because for one is that technologically, I'm very, very proud of the work I did on it. Number two, within literally a week and a half, I put in female characters where the previous person was claiming up and down it couldn't even be done. It was just because he didn't want to, that's all. And lastly, because it was such a well-sold game and so well-reviewed, it cemented that diversity works.
That's very awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for also, so you may not know that we've had some technical difficulties today, and Rebecca's been a trooper. She's been out here sweating with us and taking the heat. So we want to thank you for sweating with us so much, and thank you for being here and coming out. We really appreciate it.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at BurgerBecky. Make sure your tweets are aged 72 hours. And, of course, follow my company, Old School, which is OLDESKUUL. Those tweets can be fresh.
And she's still putting out video games, correct?
That I am.
And these are the Old School video games.
They are. The one I can talk about right now is I'm doing a remastering of the game Luxor Evolved, and those will be on consoles.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, everybody. So it's Finn again, and I am here with my friends Jess and Bella, and they are wonderful, just wonderful members of our community. But I'm going to let them introduce themselves because I'll just screw it all up. But Bella is, I'm so proud. I'm just proud. I'm so proud to see our young people just being assertive and being themselves and showing their true colors, and it just makes me so happy. So Jess, tell us a little bit about you and your family and how you have supported Bella over the years, and then we'll let Bella talk about herself.
Hi, so I'm Jess. This is my daughter Bella. She's 15. We have known that Bella was trans since she was about 2 years old. She came out to us when she was 10, and she transitioned when she was 10. We have fully supported her along her journey, and it has just been a beautiful journey. I'm very, very, very proud of the strong young woman that she has blossomed into, and we have not been able to do it without the support of Finn. So
it's my honor.
I'm the infamous Bella. I'm transgender. I just want to thank, I feel like I'm giving an Oscar speech. I just want to thank, obviously, my parents and then Finn, because without them and without my support system, I wouldn't be here today, and we've gone through so much together, and I'd like to say that you're part of the family now, because you are, and I'd just like to thank everyone, because I even know I have some family members and friends at home watching. I'd like to thank you guys for supporting me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bella, tell us, what age did you kind of question your own gender?
I didn't really question my gender because I always felt as if I knew I was a girl, although I didn't necessarily wear, all this, stuff all the time, because as I grew up, I did grow up in a very conservative community, so, I felt like within my house was really the only place I could be myself, although I always knew I was a girl. I didn't necessarily know the terminology or the supportive community, but it was just something that I've always known.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. Being a trans guy myself, I always knew from a very early age that I was a guy, and something just biologically was wrong. So yeah, I get that. So what school do you go to?
I go to Jasper High School.
And are they supportive?
A lot of people don't know. It's not like I'm not hiding anything. It's just no one's really asked, and it just feels weird to just go out, just be like, hey, I'm transgender. I feel like if someone asked, it's not like I'm hiding anything. It's just it doesn't come up in school topics, so it's just not something I'm gonna go.
Right, because most of the kids at school could care less, right?
Mm-hmm. I've had very bad experiences with bullies, so I guess it is a little traumatizing and scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be for us, for our young people, young trans people in school, and especially with some of the things that are happening with our Texas legislature right now. But as you've seen, around Texas, we have so many amazing people who are supporting us and helping us through all of these bad bills and all of these. So to support us and support our families like y'all's. And I know that Six Flags has always been supportive of the LGBTQ community. And I know y'all are season pass holders, right? Out here at Six Flags, right? Yeah. A little promo there for their season passes. But yeah, Susan and I had some a couple of years ago, and it's a lot of fun. But there was the best Pokemon stuff out here, man. When the Pokemon stuff was going, you could find the best Pokemon stuff out here. So yeah. So anything else you want to say? Would you like to give some advice to some of our some of your friends or your trans young?
Well, it kind of goes along with the story I have. When I was little in 4th grade, probably one of the worst years for bullying. That was the year I came out. So everyone already knew me as, my past self. I was actually riding home on my bike one day, and a group of kids came up and pushed me off my bike, and they were assaulting me. I had bruises, I had scratches, I had marks. But I got up, I brushed it off, I knew who I was, and I wasn't going to let anyone stop me. So I got back on my bike and I kept riding. And so I think the best advice I could give anyone is when life pushes you down, get up, know who you are, brush it off, get on your bike, and keep riding.
That is Heck yeah! I'm putting that on my fridge. That's awesome, right? One foot in front of the other. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Tomorrow's going to be better. All right. Thank you so much, Jess and Bella. And Dad is here too, over here in the background. So yeah, are we good? Thanks, Belana.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm a food and beverage full-time supervisor here at Hurricane Harbor. I've been with the company for 7 years.
Hi, my name is Juan Perez. I'm a retail supervisor at Six Flags Over Texas. I've worked here for about 13 years.
This is Xavier with the Foods Department at Six Flags Over Texas.
My name is Jonathan Tovar, and I just go by Tovar, and I work here at the Costume Department for entertainment here at Six Flags Over Texas.
My name is Dave Dunning. I work here at Six Flags Over Texas in the culinary or food and beverage department, however you want to call it. I am an area champion, overseeing several different locations in one section of the park.
What pride means to me is being able to be yourself and not be ashamed of that, and be able to celebrate who you are and be able to do, whatever you want with no kind of shame or persecution.
So Pride Month is just, getting to celebrate you, celebrate your friends, family, just being proud of who you are, what you stand for, and,
Pride to me is working towards something greater than yourself. Giving back to people who can't give for themselves. Making the world change in a better way.
Pride means to me is accepting yourself for who you are and just celebrating that. And celebrating you and being authentically 110% at all times.
Pride to me just means being able to be yourself. Being able to reflect upon who you are, your beliefs, your feelings and stuff like that, and just being able to be a normal human being, however you would consider normal to be.
I think for me it's more just, being able to, be with my friends and my family and just be comfortable with the people I'm around and support those, and just celebrate who I am and not be ashamed of that.
Celebrating Pride is just, living your truth, being who you are, being proud of who you are. It's not necessarily something I was back then in high school, but now, as you get older and, wiser, you get more comfortable in your skin, your friends, your family, your support group. That really is the best way.
With me, with Pride, I celebrate with my partners. May it be going to Pride, going out to dinner together, going to an escape room, having fun together, or even coming here to Six Flags.
Also just by being myself 100% of the time, but also being there for people who are still discovering that, and leading the gay community to also learn about the older gay community, because there is things such as gay history that we need to be informed about 110%, because the older generation are the people who paved the way for us to have these rights.
I celebrate Pride every day. I am who I am. There really isn't a specific way that I celebrate. People ask me if I'm gay, if I'm bi, if I'm straight. I let them know that I'm gay, and I enjoy being who I am, and people accept me for that.
Six Flags has been really supportive. I mean, they are doing things that are, they're putting things into place that are being more inclusive for others, so adding pronouns to name tags, being more open as far as their grooming guidelines and things like that, policy changes that are really, helping our community. And then outside of Six Flags, the actual people that work here. So I have felt so included with all of the people that work here. They love me for who I am, and they don't care, and I'm just another person to them.
Being a member of the LGBT community, has made me feel proud of, just being here. Back years ago, it's not something that you really would just tell anyone. But it's just, it doesn't matter. We're all humans, we're all the same, and it's something that working here, I felt comfortable working here, working with the team, and they see me for who I am and the work I do, as opposed to just labels. So,
well, this is the first job I've ever had that's been able to actually give me my own pronouns on my name tag, or actually have people I can talk to if I'm having a bad day, or even making other friends that are in the community.
I've seen a lot of acceptance just with the Pride celebration coming up this following weekend that I know we've never really done that. So I'm very excited to see rainbow across the park and just celebrate a lot of the employees, because we do have a lot of employees and coworkers who are part of the LGBTQ community. So yeah, I think especially the pronouns thing is amazing.
I felt that it's been accepting. Working here at Six Flags as part of the LGBTQ community, I feel that we're accepted, but the lack of celebration has kind of put a damper on things. So the fact that we're actually expressing it and celebrating Pride Month this year at Six Flags, it's really exciting, because it shows that we're accepting the fact that we have different types of people from all areas of the community that are actually coming here and working, and we're celebrating who we are.
Hey folks, this is Blana, and I'm standing here with Stephanie Willman, who is Director of HR? Director of HR, I want to make sure I get that right. And we're here to talk about trans and LGBTQ at the park, and I would love to start with my story, if that's okay. Do you remember the day I walked into your office?
I do. Was it a phone call or was it in the office?
I actually walked in.
Okay.
I remember that because I walked in. I remember this very distinctly because I walked in and I said, "Hey, I have something to talk to you about." And I asked about, what is it like to transition at the park? And your exact words were, "Oh, it's okay. You're not the first to do this at the park."
Yes.
And so I was like, oh, "No way!" Yeah. So when someone comes to you like that, what is the first thing? I know I got the name badge. What else?
I think really what we want to convey to anyone going through that very important time in their life is just to really let us know what they need from us, is really how I think of it, because we're here for the employees, and we want to be a source of appreciation, allyship, comfort, when during this very important time in their lives.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I remember too, because when I went down to get my name badge, I literally just stood there and stared at it for 5 minutes. I was like, wow, I get to wear this around the park, and that was amazing. So you get the name badge, and you can do wardrobe accommodation.
Yes, we can. Wardrobe accommodation, name tags, pronouns on name tags now, which was very exciting addition to the name tag, as well as preferred name presents itself in our systems. If a person has a preferred name that differs, from their legal.
Right. Right. See, that's really cool. And is this something that Six Flags has always done? Because I know there's a new initiative, and we'll talk to Sharon about that. Is this something that's always been around the park?
Certainly we've evolved, as a park as well, over the years. And I just think that, we've improved and, recognized how important it is to all of our employees to be themselves, and made the changes that seem really very easy and natural to make.
Right. That's awesome. And there is an amazing LGBT, not just trans, but there's a huge LGBTQ community. Do you have any idea the numbers of maybe the percentage of the staff?
Oh gosh, I probably wouldn't be able to guess, but you're right. I do feel like there is a large community, and we welcome and embrace the diversity of all of our employees. So I love it.
That's fantastic. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for talking to us. It is, trust me, it is so easy to do something like this at the park. They're very accepting. They're very loving. Just be yourself. You'll be fine. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Victoria Guarneri, and I'm here with TCI, here to interview Brad. I don't know your last name. Just call you Brad? How about Brad?
Sure, that works for me. But my name is Brad Malone. I'm the marketing communications manager here at Six Flags Over Texas.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to meet you, Brad.
You as well.
So, we're here today for Pride. So I have some questions for you.
Sure.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So let's start here. Have any LGBTQ couples been married, engaged on the park grounds that you know of?
So I do know that we've had a couple that were planning on getting married here, but unfortunately 2020 and the pandemic hit. So we are excited for the next couple that would like to have their vows done here at the park. So whenever they're ready, we're ready.
Also, we have to note that we've been kind of surviving the heat with some technical difficulties, and Brad has been struggling with us through the heat, so we're all just a little sweaty, but we appreciate Brad's patience with us. Have you ever had to push back against public that may have been unaccepting or very not so friendly?
Well, I think everyone that's on social media knows that there's going to be trolls about everything. So I think the biggest thing for us is that as a park, we do not accept any type of discrimination, racism, or any hate of any kind. So we want to make sure that as a park, we are as inclusive as possible, and we definitely do not tolerate any of that. So if the public doesn't, or if individuals do not accept people for who they are, then they don't need to come.
That is awesome. So how does Six Flags run the line between a public company focusing on entertainment and inclusivity?
Yeah, and I think our park president said it well too. When you look at the bottom line for our park, if you do the right thing, the bottom line is going to take care of itself. So I think that's really the line that we look at, is if you do the right thing, you're going to have the support from the general public, and then everything else kind of takes care of itself.
That's awesome. What's your favorite character in the TV series Pose or the movie Tu Wong Fu?
So no spoilers, but I have 2 episodes left of Pose. So I have the season finale,
okay.
Part 1 and Part 2. So I am really excited to watch those. I think my first answer when I thought about it, I was like Elektra, because she's just Elektra. But when I was thinking about the individual characters, Blanca definitely was my favorite, because I think that it's fun to see her character arc, and with her becoming a mother herself. So that was really, I think that's the one that I went to.
She went to the University of Berkeley School of Music, in Boston. Yeah, so that's my home turf.
Yeah.
What's Six Flags' biggest accomplishment in supporting the LGBTQ community?
So I wish that we had kind of a defining moment that I could talk about, but I really think that the path to diversity and inclusion is one that is continuous, and I think that we are definitely taking those steps to become more diverse, more inclusive, but I think that probably for most companies it's going to be a journey, and I think that we're on that right now, and we are pushing forward and pushing boundaries as much as we can, but it's going to be a process, and I hope that we are able to have that defining moment to be able to talk about in the future, but I think that we're taking the right steps to get there.
Awesome. How does Six Flags support the LGBT community in the greater DFW area?
Sure. So in the past, we have definitely hosted organizations, whether that's the Pride Day or Gay Day, depending on what they called it. So I think that those are things that we are looking for organizations that want to come out and have a great time here at the park. And then we're also looking at options for supporting, whether that's through the month of Pride or different Pride events throughout the year, or just looking to be good community partners within the organizations, like having this live cast tonight.
Yeah, awesome. That's very true. What does Pride mean to Six Flags?
So I think that Pride to Six Flags, and it's going to be a little bit personal for me too, but I think that when you look at Pride, it's number one, supporting people for who they are. I think that's the most important thing. But then also empowering allies to be able to support team members, to support guests that are here at the park. And I think that celebrating that and embracing that really kind of encompasses Pride.
That's awesome. Also, I might add that one of our members of our group is an employee of Six Flags, and she transitioned on the job, and she's had nothing but a positive experience here at Six Flags. So I thought that was phenomenal, and truly that was one of the big impetuses with this idea was how well she was taken care of, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
So, if you were a ride at Six Flags, what would it be?
So I guess I'd probably have to say the new Texas Giant. It started here at the park in the 90s as a wooden roller coaster, and then it became the first hybrid roller coaster in the world back in 2011. So it's celebrating its 10th anniversary as a new Texas Giant. But now it's smooth, so it's a little bit more refined and a lot more fun. I feel like that's kind of my journey from maybe have a little bit rough around the edges with the old wooden coaster, but now here I am. So
fair enough. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and thank you for taking the heat with us and being patient and hosting us.
Absolutely.
It's been a blast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we are standing here with Sharon Parker. I love Sharon to death. She's one of my favorites. We have a very unique relationship here. And she knew me before my transition, so now I get to talk to you about something that I learned about from the CEO's email, which was the Diversity and Inclusivity Council.
Yes.
What is this?
So the Diversity and Inclusion Council is consistent of a representative from each park within the company, and our role is to make sure that we are truly representing that our frontline employees and back of house employees are wanting to be representative of the parks. So it's a work in progress. We just started up, but I can tell you that it is very much a high priority, not just for myself as a member of the council, but for our company.
Very awesome. Now, how long has this been? Because I know you were saying when I found out is not when it started. So give me the timeline of this.
Yeah, so it started up at the end of last year, obviously, or towards the middle end of last year. Obviously, COVID had delayed some of the progress that was supposed to have been made. But once we all got back and the parks started operating again, then it became very appropriate to make this part of our business. And that's how we look at the D&I Council. It is just as important to us as safety is, and we know that safety is our number one priority. Yes. So D&I is also a top priority for the company.
Oh, that is so awesome. And that's funny too, because that was one of my mottos, and anything that I build is nobody dies and nobody gets hurt on my stuff.
That's right.
Period. So safety and then diversity and inclusivity.
Yes.
That's awesome. So I've been asked an interesting question, and you as the person who used to be the PR director here might know this. Have there been any weddings at Six Flags? Especially I know gay couples love coming out here, stuff like that. Have we had anything like that at the park?
So we were this close. We had a couple dear friends of mine that wanted to make it official. They'd been together for so long and decided that they were ready to become husband, and they had scoped everything out. We were looking at, okay, when would be the ideal time, and then COVID.
COVID, that seems to be the running theme.
I know. I was like, I don't want that to be the overall takeaway from this conversation. But they did decide to go elsewhere, and the wedding was absolutely beautiful. I think that everything happens for a reason, and their union needed to take place exactly where it did. So I'm so happy for them.
That's awesome. I'd heard something about that. That's why I wanted to ask about that. So I did talk to Ron last thing, and Ron is very open with it. The company seems open with it. We used to do, I think it was Gay Day is what it was called, and I think there's some open-mindedness to doing that again. I'm assuming that the possibility is there.
Yes, so inclusivity is at the foundation of everything that we do, and we are open to any group that wants to come out and celebrate with their friends or loved ones, however that may be for them, whether it is a special day, a private event, just going to put a plug out, We support everyone that wants to come and have a great day at the park. So who knows, Gay Day may come back. It was always a fun time. I have to share with you, I know that you didn't ask me this, but one of my favorite moments for a Gay Day event was there was a group of guys that were walking down and they were like, "You want to see a cheer?" And they saw my name tag, so they knew that I was an employee, and I was like, sure. They stopped on the boardwalk by Superman, broke out in full-on cheer with stunts. Yes, had a crowd. It was free entertainment, but it was so much fun. And I think at the end of the day, it just represents who we are as a company. You come here to have fun. You come here to make memories. And you want that to be a priceless situation. And that for me was priceless. I'm sure for them, they didn't think twice about it. But, you know, it's a reciprocal benefit. So they had fun. It had a lasting moment and impression for me. And, you know, that was one of my favorite Gay Day moments, I have to be honest.
That is
I still tell the story.
See, that is wonderful. And that is why I love working here, because you see my name badge too. I love working here for things like that. So thank you so much, Sharon, for talking with us.
Thank you, Milana. And just know that I adore you, as you are, all of you, and I am just so proud of everything that you have accomplished and how much you contribute to all of us. Like, you're the perfect team member. So I always look forward to being able to work with you. But I just want to let you know, I think it's appropriate right now to let you know how much you mean.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, folks, speaking of the president, we're going to talk with him. I recorded a video earlier this week. Let's listen to Ron. Howdy, y'all. We're now standing here with Ron McKenzie, the president of Six Flags Over Texas, from Fiesta. You came from?
I came from a lot of different parks. I started my career at Fiesta Texas the year that it opened, but I actually spent time at Six Flags St. Louis. I spent time at Six Flags Astroworld. So this is my fourth Six Flags park. I've had the pleasure of working of 2 of the 3 legacy original Six Flags parks. So.
Oh, very nice. Very cool. Okay, so I got to ask you, what does Pride mean to you personally?
To me, I think Pride is a celebration of humankind. It's a celebration of love. It's a celebration of kindness, and I think that especially in today's world, we can certainly use that more than ever. So it's very exciting to me that we're talking about Pride, because all the things that we need in the world today are the things that Pride is about, and that's about love and kindness.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. That's a wonderful answer. How is Six Flags inclusive, and why? And have you guys had any pushback on the inclusivity?
No, not at all. It's very important. I mean, look around us, and I know that you had some experience here at the park. Look around. We are inclusive. Diversity is really, really important to us. We celebrate all forms of ethnicity. We celebrate all forms of perspectives. It really is important for us as a company and as a brand to celebrate the differences in everybody.
Absolutely, especially because that makes a good example for others outside of the park, the way they see that.
And we have a responsibility to do that as not only a park, but as a company.
Absolutely. So how does diversity help the bottom line here?
It's interesting, the bottom line question, because obviously we're a for-profit company, we're publicly traded, we talk a lot about profits and all of those things. But sometimes you just have to pull back and ask yourself, what's the right thing to do? And many times when you figure out what the right thing to do, the profits and the bottom line, they all take care of themselves. So celebrating diversity, celebrating pride, celebrating the differences and the similarities in people are truly the right things to do. And if you do the right things, the profits and the bottom line will take care of themselves.
Absolutely. I've found that too. Doing the right thing usually leads to the right direction, no matter what you do. That's fantastic. Will Six Flags ever bring back a Pride Day or a Pride Weekend for families?
I think it's time to start talking about it. Obviously, we're getting back to normalcy again. We're post-pandemic or almost out of this pandemic. So I think as we start to think about the kinds of events and things that we want to do moving forward, we certainly need to have that conversation to bring those kinds of events back to the parks.
Agreed. Okay, so let's get into a little bit of fun here. If you were a ride at Six Flags, what would it be?
I'm surprised you have to ask me that question, because clearly it's Batman, right? No, I love Batman. It's a great coaster, but my favorite rides to ride in all of the theme parks are the traditional classic wooden coasters. Oh, yeah. I grew up in San Antonio, so making the trip up to Six Flags Over Texas to ride Judge Roy Scream has really special memories to me. Yeah. So I think that's the ride I'd want to be, because just like Judge Roy Scream, I'm old and I'm a classic.
Me too, because my favorite was always the Texas Giant.
Right.
Even in that that last year when you needed to see your chiropractor at the end of the ride. That was always one of my favorites. What is your favorite Six Flags guilty treat?
Man, that's really, really hard. So my wife has recently become a vegetarian. My daughter is a vegetarian vegan, or vegan, I guess, vegan. So when I come here and I really am hungry, I go for the barbecue, the brisket nachos, the hamburgers, the things that I don't get at home anymore. Those are my guilty treats, but there's nothing like a great funnel cake at the end of the evening as well.
Absolutely, and that's why it's the most popular thing on the way out the gate for all of the guests. Get your funnel cake on the way out of Six Flags. What is the funniest thing that's ever happened? What kind of funny story do you have?
So it's most of my funny stories are mistakes that I've made in my career, and they don't seem so funny at the time. But here's one. It's a little bit of a long story, but I was a brand new corporate sales rep in San Antonio. I'd booked my first major breakfast of a large company, 2,000 plus people coming to the park. I got there early. I made sure the catering was set up. I made sure the catering team was ready, and it was time for the breakfast to start, and nobody showed up. There was nobody there. Oh, no. So I went out to the entrance of the catering grove, nobody there. I went out to the front gate, nobody there. And I look and I see a line of traffic backed up at our toll plaza onto the highway, and I realized that I forgot to tell the toll plaza they need to open early. So I ran mad sprint, probably about 400, 500 yards, the fastest I've ever run in my life, yelling, "Open the gates, open the gates, open the gates." And everybody made fun of me afterward because they've never seen me move that fast, and I don't think I've moved that fast since then. But those are the kinds of funny stories you have to tell when you have a long career in this industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, remember Six Flags is open now all summer, and they're usually open weekends throughout the fall. In fact, we don't even close anymore. It's usually weekends.
Yeah, we're in year 2 of our year-round operation, which has been very well received from our guests, and it's allowed us to introduce a lot of brand new festivals to the park, which we've never done before.
Absolutely, and some of that we'll be looking at later in the program tonight, some of the food offerings that we have here at Six Flags Over Texas. I want to thank you so much, Ron, for talking with me today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Absolutely. Now back to the program. All right, folks. Now we're going to have what's going to be my favorite section. We're going to test food. I love to eat. I'm sorry. I know I don't look like it, but I love to eat. All right, so these are what's called LTOs, limited time offers. And what Six Flags does is each season or festival, because right now we're in the Best of Texas Festival, they will make specialty items that guests can come in and buy. That's not their standard chicken nuggets and corn dogs and turkey legs. Don't get me wrong, turkey legs are good.
Oh, you always have to get a turkey leg. It's tradition.
It's tradition.
It's tradition, like funnel cakes.
Yep, and on the way out the door, you get the funnel cake for the road.
Exactly.
My favorite thing, I got a quick story for you. My favorite thing to see working in the foods department here is the fact that somebody will go to one of our front gate stands and buy like 10 to 15 turkey legs, have them wrap them in aluminum foil so they can take them home. It is insane to watch, too. Like, oh, we got some for the ride home. It's hilarious. I love it. So this one is their pizza offering. Now, they don't always do pizza as one of their things, but this is a barbecue cowboy pizza, something of that nature. It's barbecue sauce, garlic chicken, cheese. It's supposed to be really, really good. I'm just going to shut up and take a bite.
I'm going to eat it like a proper Bostonian.
There's red onion on there too. That's actually a really tasty flavor.
That's not bad. That's really good.
Now, they do serve pizza here at the park, but they do standard pizzas until you get a specialty item. This is actually a pretty good LTO. You can find this at All American Cafe, which is where I had to go down to today and tell them to make me one. But this is really, really good. And that's a sauce for the salad, but it is good for several things. That's really good.
That's very good. That's awesome.
That really is. I enjoy that. So again, come to the park during the Best of Texas Festival. Go to the All American Cafe. Ask for their LTO pizza. It's really, really good. The other LTO that I've heard about, and one of my favorite people at the park, possibly because he's my roommate, makes a very interesting Southwest salad. As you can see, chicken strips, salad, tortilla strips, and a special sauce. Now, the sauce is really cool. As you're finding out, it is a sour cream based sauce with spices.
Cumin.
Valentina.
Cumin.
Cumin. I know. She's got a heck of a palate. I'll give her that.
It's pretty good. Can't think of the rest. I need another taste.
I need another taste. This is actually really good because one of the ingredients is we use a Valentina sauce. It's actually really tasty. I love this because it has a very Southwest flavor.
It's good.
But it doesn't punch you in the nose.
No.
And that's the beauty of it. It was probably one of the better sauces that they've made in a while. Shh, I'm just saying. But this is really good. I love this. And as you can see, it comes in a whole salad. Like, that's a good portion. All their LTOs are based on the season or the festival that we're in. We started our season with Fire and Ice, and then we moved on to Spring Break, and then we did Viva la Fiesta. Viva la Fiesta was really good. There was a lot of good flavor there. Now we're doing Best of Texas. And Best of Texas comes with a lot of interesting foods and drinks, which we're going to get to. Okay, folks, some of the other LTOs that you can get here during all of the festivals that we do, because we do a lot of festivals now, is drinks. And some of these drinks are fantastically amazing. So first, I'm going to read this off because there's no way I can memorize this. The Prosecco Margarita has one of our most popular drinks, a mixture of tequila, Cointreau, Prosecco, lime, and simple syrup. Prosecco Margarita. Oh, that's interesting. I worry about the Cointreau because that's a pretty powerful drink, but I don't really taste. Wow, that's good. I like the lime in that, and it's not too punchy.
Very smooth.
Really
smooth.
Really, and because margaritas are usually like very limey with a punch of tequila, and that is really, really smooth.
It is. I like it. I think it's a winner.
I was gonna say you could probably go through 3 or 4 of those before you realize,
before you're blowing chunks on the shockwave.
Right? Okay, so the next one's called the Howdy Y'all. This is
just as a note.
Yes.
If you ever ride a roller coaster, the correct phrase when you're in the front car is, "I shouldn't have had that gas station burrito." You have to scream it out at the top of your lungs, so everybody behind you can hear you.
And
so
panic.
That's tradition. Just letting you know.
So now we come to one called the Howdy Y'all. This one is quite yellow. This one is tequila, coconut rum, pineapple juice, lemon, and soda water. I don't think I've had anything with soda water in it in decades.
Mojito?
No, because I don't do mint. Oh, wow. That's...
Reminds me of a Mai Tai.
It does. It's very sweet and coconutty. And usually, like, the soda water's like, that'll ruin the flavor of just about anything. But that's amazing.
Tasting almond? And coconut?
Definitely coconut. That's a fantastic drink. That's also another one that you could easily get. It's very refreshing. You can walk around the park with it, which is another wonderful feature about Six Flags.
I think this one's more dangerous because, like, I could suck down quite a few of these and not even know it.
I could take down several of those things and never know it.
I think that's the dangerous one.
Okay, that's a good one. Yes, our bartenders here are very, very good. They're wonderful at what they do, and they're very good at hiding that.
This is a mommy's taking a break while the kids ride the Conquistador ride.
That's awesome. Well, the beautiful thing about Six Flags is once you've bought the alcohol, you can walk around the park with it.
True.
A lot of places will make you stay put or something. Yeah. But once you've got your drink, go enjoy the park. And there's 4 different major bars here. We have the Boomtown Bar. We have the Mystic Acres, which I built. We have the Casa Bar. Well, I did build the bar for it. And then the Gotham Bar. Which the Gotham Bar is kind of boring. It's just basically, you want a beer, go to Gotham. You want a really good drink, go see Courtney in Boomtown.
They water down their liquor in Gotham.
Yeah,
you don't want to go there.
You don't want to go there.
Lots of crime. You might find yourself in a bathtub with your kidneys taken out.
Oh, that's awesome. So the last one that we have is called the Texas Two-Step. Mother Nature is not being kind to me, but that's okay.
That's really good.
That is. I agree with you. That'll get you in trouble really fast. So the Texas two-step is a watermelon pucker and tequila served with a tahine and chamoy rim. See, I got that right. I know how to say tahine.
Ah, tahine.
Watermelon pucker
So I
and
think we need
tequila.
to say cheers. We need to do this proper.
Cheers.
Cheers!
There we go.
And thank you to Six Flags.
Wow. I just want a little sample before I got into this, but
it's a shot. You got to do the shot. I mean, it's like going to the Old South Pancake House. You got to get a German pancake.
That's true. Oh, and there's the bite. I was waiting. I was like, there's tahini and chamoy around here somewhere.
That's good.
Woo! There it is.
I drink whiskey straight up, so that's like
that's fair. That's fair.
That's pretty. That's a good shot.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, I'm never a huge watermelon fan, but the tequila kind of offsets it.
Yeah.
I mean, the tahini chamoy, that little bit of woo right at the end. That's not
like
bad.
that.
That's not bad at all.
The tahini I would not have thought to use in a million years.
And see, that's what I love about Six Flags LTOs and the bartenders. They get really creative. They submit these recipes, and everybody's like, that's really good. We're going to make that. Awesome. All right. We got one more thing for you. Okay. So real quick, since we've tried the alcohol, we're going to talk about more alcohol. This is one of our festival glasses. We did one for Viva La Fiesta, and this is Best of Texas. This glass, for $11.99, you buy the cup. And then for $6.99 throughout the day, you can refill it with anything off any of the taps. And there's 4 tap locations. I know there's Oliver's, there's Casa Bar, there's a couple others, but I can never remember where the taps are. But you can fill these up throughout the day, throughout the park, anywhere. This is the Best of Texas cup. These are really, really cool. It's actually a really good value too. And through July 4th, on the weekends, we have the beer festival going on. So we have vendors of all sorts of different beer in the old France section near the Southern Palace. Really, really, really cool. There's how many vendors? 17. Oh my gosh, so many vendors of beer. And including Rar and Sons, Legal Draft. I've seen them all. Deep Elm, I think, it's amazing. So come out on any given weekend and go to the beer garden. Basically, we're calling it affectionately our beer garden. Now, Vicky and I are like looking at this going, oh my God. This is the Best of Texas, basically strawberry cheesecake thingy strawberry. It's good.
We'll call it the strawberry, the monster.
Yeah, and you can get this at the ice cream parlor. ICP is what we call it affectionately.
ICP.
Because they use
no relation to the insane
none whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Or Michigan.
But at the ICP or the ice cream parlor, you can go over and get Bluebell ice cream with some pound cake, whipped cream, and strawberries. And it is delicious. Dig in.
All right, let's try it.
Mmm.
My best Boston accent. Oh my God, that's wicked good.
It really is, and I'm not just saying it because I work here, but this is really good. All the food that we make here on the LTOs is actually really, really good because all of us try it and try it and try it until we're like, no, that's good.
It's like a deconstructed strawberry shortcake.
There you go.
It's really good. I mean, it's tasty.
It really is. Oh, the flavors, I mean, and they're not too strong either. That's the beauty of it.
See, don't trust Bolana. She's skinny. Don't trust a skinny person. Trust a fat person.
You know, you always
I
trust
know
the
how
fat
to
person.
eat. I've eaten all the fattening foods.
Oh, that is wonderful. So these are just some of the LTOs that you can get here at Six Flags Over Texas at any one of the given festivals. They're going to be doing the 4th of July Fest, which is probably only a week long at that. I think it's 4 days. And then after that, we're doing Best of Texas Part 2. More stuff to hit the market.
More booze, more food.
More booze, more food. What better way to celebrate Texas than more booze and more food? It'll be awesome. And then after that, they go into Fright Fest and then Holiday in the Park. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more LTOs where these came from. It's always fun to sit down and
I'm
eat the
kind of
food.
curious though, like what the LTO for Fright Fest is going to be like.
Well, last year, funny
boiled
enough,
chicken brains.
Oh,
with a nice red sauce.
right. So what's in the red sauce? That's a mystery.
That's chicken brains.
Last year, funny enough, we came out with our Diablo menu, and everything was like fire this and Diablo pepper that, and oh wow, everything was so good. I dropped so many antacids that day, it was unbelievable. But it was all so good. All right, folks, we had a great time doing this. We're so sorry that the live crapped out on us, but as I always say, and my engineer hears me say it all the time, I love technology when it works. So as the bells chime in the background, we're going to sign off. Thank you for joining us tonight. Again, we're sorry about the live, but we had a great time. For my co-host, Vicky, for Finn Jones, thank you to all the people who interviewed with us, all the Six Flags staff,
Trans Cendence, Six Flags, Pixel, Rebecca, the Dailies, who I can remember all our guests.
I know, there were so many people that we talked to. We appreciate you joining us.
Jess Jarvis and her family.
Yes.
Thank you,
Bella.
Bella?
Yeah.
Bella Jarvis?
It's wonderful to see the trans youth, especially willing to get on camera and talk to us. Oh, that was beautiful. Makes a tear come to my eye.
Flag, Glad, everybody. We just thank you so much for coming out and for helping us. And Pixel for coming out. And, you know, she's from England and she's not used to the heat.
No, she's not.
She melted.
So, we thank everybody for sweating with us who came to interview. We hope you've enjoyed our video. Again, technical difficulties.
Sorry.
But we got something out for you, didn't we?
And we got booze.
We got booze. Last thing to remember, thank you so much to Six Flags. We really appreciate this. Thank you for being so inclusive and having diversity in mind and just being so open and honest and accepting of everything. It's really wonderful. One of, a handful of companies that are out there. So, from Six Flags Over Texas, on behalf of Trans Cendence International, I'm Alana.
I'm Vicky.
Have a good night.